Hey community, good to see you, talk to you again. It has been a couple of days, but really been doing a whole lot of introspective work for myself personally. And I cannot preach what I do not practice. And so much has been being revealed to me about how to move forward, where my next steps are in this season. And something that rang out really loud this week was learning to boast in your weaknesses. Now, I come from a whole leadership background. I do assessments on strength finders and what are you doing well and build upon those and et cetera, right? I come from that, but I am learning you're going to do what you're good at regardless, right? Because it comes out of you. Our giftings, our talents, our abilities, and they're not necessarily something we should get so caught up on that we forget to hone in on our weaknesses. Now, it's important that when we think about our weaknesses, we don't go to the extreme of getting into self-deprivation where it's like, I can't do this well and I don't know how to do this and I'll never be good enough and I'm not worthy. That's not what I mean. What I mean is learning how to call out the gaps and the obstructions and the obstacles and the hindrances in your life so that you may get the help that you need. So I talked a little bit about in my last video about asking for help. And I really mean this wholeheartedly that, and again, coming from someone who would deem me self-help coach or et cetera, like the planners and things that I do are self-help. But the reality of it is this also, there's no such thing as self-help, right? Someone is always helping you to move forward, to help you take your next steps, to help you see what you do not see. Outside of a mirror, we're the only people who can't see themselves. So we need other people in our life to help us move forward. And when we boast in our weaknesses, when we're able to say, I have a gap here, I have an obstruction here, I have a hindrance here, there's some opposition in my life right here, we're able to have people we can call upon, delegate to, reach out to, get mentored by, get coached by, get trained by. No matter what it is, we need people to help us move and propel ourselves forward because we're always going to have areas in our life that need improvement. And so I am really in a cycle season where I am renewing my mind. Now, mind you, again, I got a whole master's in leadership and all the things where it's like, help yourself do these things, right? Yes and no. This is the paradox, right? We got to reconcile these factions in our life that says one thing, but also can mean another thing at the same time. And this is one of them. So learn how to, I encourage you, I implore you, and I've been challenging myself, call out the gaps, call out the places that you do not do well so that help can be obtained and you can actually continue to grow. Because here's the thing, we will convince ourselves of anything, okay? And it can be wrong things, but when our mindsets are incorrect, we will feed those poor mindsets with statements. As I was just talking with a client about, when there's things that we want to quit, when there's things that we want to do better at, we will come up with excuses and with these statements that say, I need to do X in order to, right? So we will always find a reason. We will always find an excuse. We will always create logic for ourselves to stay in a position that we are comfortable in, that is common to us, that is familiar to us. And until you become set in your mind that there needs to be change, that I cannot do this any longer, or that there needs to be a next step, you will continue to do the thing that you do not want to do. So I'm here to tell you today, it first and foremost begins in your mind, right? Our belief system, as my bishop says. So if you can't get in your mind the belief around what it is that you need help with, what the gap is, what the hindrance is, right? Calling out those weaknesses. If you can't even come to the conclusion that you have a weakness, you're going to get tripped up every single time. You're going to get triggered every single time. You're going to find yourself responding in a way that you didn't want to respond every single time. If it is an addiction, if it is a issue that you have with your mouth, saying stuff you shouldn't be saying, doing things you shouldn't be doing, it's going to continue until you believe that there needs to be something done differently. All right. That's where I'm at this week. Identifying my weaknesses. And for real, identifying my weaknesses, and then reaching out to the appropriate resource in order to get help. Because I can't help myself. Because if I could help myself, meaning do it all myself, then I would have done it already, right? And then I would stop with I would stop with the back and forth around, how did I get back here? Why do I keep doing this? Why is this still an issue for me? It's because you need something outside of you in order to correct the problem. So that's where we at today. And make sure you check out onpurposebrands.ticketleap.com. Sign up for this workshop every single year, y'all. It's the same time. Actually, I'm having 3 sessions this year in December, the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, to help you get jump started on your next. And I'm going to be talking about stick-wittedness. And it's so important for us to get this down in our hearts and our spirits about sticking with things, because it is a major issue today that people have of not following through. Hence what I'm talking about right now. Like, people won't follow through because of X, Y, Z reasons, but it's important that you find out what those reasons are. It's important that you hone in and recognize and acknowledge your weaknesses so you can move forward to your next. All right. Talk soon.